That's gonna be your thing. I deem that unworthy. I didn't get that hair. It is from my mustache.
You know how to make that so that doesn't happen?
Yeah, how? You know a trick?
You just shave off that fucking mustache.
I don't know that. You've been wanting to say that every episode. We haven't even started drinking yet today. There we go.
Yes, Andy, Vargo, and I will do anything for attention.
Yes, we will.
Good morning, sunshine. How are you?
Well, any morning that I wake up to seeing you straight out of bed is a good morning. How are you?
We're good. We're rocking the bedhead today. And I was thinking about all of the people that watch us, our fans and friends. And I wanted to make sure that they get the full Cheri and Andy experience. Like and subscribe and follow us so they don't miss anything.
Yeah, and you know what else would be so super awesome for us and for your other friends out there? Be if people would share it so that everyone else has the chance to experience this in all its glory and that, or whichever side you're on. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Scrutiny with Cheri and Andy. I'm Andy Vargo, and this is my good comedy friend,
Cheri Hardman.
Yay! Cheri, how are you today?
Like I said, I just got up from a nap, so I'm a little cobweb in the heads, a little more so than usual. But other than that, it was an okay day, so I'm all right. How are you?
I am doing very well, thank you.
Yeah, you seem a lot livelier than I am.
Well, I did take a little nap. I actually had to set an alarm for a few minutes ago because I was sitting in the chair and I was starting to doze and I was like, oh no, I'm going to give you a bad time and I'm going to be the one that sleeps through it. So I set an alarm and I just dozed for like 13 or 14 minutes, but it was so refreshing. It felt good. Excuse me, apparently I'm still waking up. But yeah, all sorts of good stuff to talk about today. I'm excited. I'm going to talk about this. You're going to talk about that. But what do you have coming up?
Nothing really.
All right.
Yeah, I got nothing coming up. I got I did have a show in Vegas and it fell through. So I'm going to Vegas next week. So
that's an exciting.
I'm kind of holding out, like, so I've got I got nothing for a couple weeks. So yeah. I'm available for booking. And I got stuff going on, but just
right.
What about you?
I have one thing coming up in about a week, and I'm going to mention it today since we might not be doing Scrutiny next week with you being on the road and all. But I am going to be hosting the Daffodil Parade, doing the emceeing like we did like we did for the Santa Parade. So
that's cool. What day is that?
It's they do it in Puyallup and Sumner and Ording and Tacoma, and we're going to be doing it from the Puyallup. That's kind of where I think they kind of have the big hub anymore.
I was going to say, that's the big spot. Yeah.
So we'll be down. I think we're at the Pioneer Pavilion or whatever right there in downtown Puyallup. That park right in downtown Puyallup is where we'll be broadcasting from with BD Local. So be sure to stop on by and say hi. I've got to get my yellow suit ready and figure out my attire.
Oh, cool.
So I've got that coming up on the 9th and a couple other things like that going on. And but yeah, it's exciting.
What was that?
Just a little shiver. A wake up shiver.
Well, that's cool. You just got back from going somewhere.
I did. So I went down to the beach, hung out with Steve Hammond for a couple days with him and his family, and feel very grateful. That was just a fun time. It was just very relaxed, chill, hanging out, playing games, doing, you know, that kind of like family stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like when you're invited to someone's home for dinner or to spend time with someone in their family space in any way, especially a vacation type thing, like that's very sacred to me. Like it's so special, and I just was like this. It just felt so cool to just hang out, and it was cool.
So Steve's doing okay?
Yeah, he's doing amazing. It seems like so. Family seems good, and um, I have to tell you, yeah, it was cool. It's interesting, you know, when I had a couple things like this week where I was with other people with their families, and I was kind of the person there hanging out and different friends. And it's interesting because I know when I first got divorced, and that would have been very hard for me to do because people would invite me over for things, but it was actually painful because it was like a sting of like, no, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my family.
Right.
Now that I'm in a better place mentally, health wise, and also my kids are grown, so those activities aren't going on anyway. And I do have times with my kids where I'm very grateful that we have dinner and stuff, but you know,
Right.
when kids are in their 20s, they're not
Yeah.
coming home to hang out with dad anyway.
Right.
So it was cool.
That's true. Well, that's good. That sounds like how was the weather while you were there?
It was beautiful. You know, there was a
Were you
couple.
at actually? Were you at Ocean Shores
We
or
were
were you
at
somewhere else?
Westport, or just right
Oh,
by Grayland. But that they had a house that was right, just like one of those houses where you just walk over the little dune to the beach, and you're right there. There's nothing between you
right.
and the thing. And then and it was kind of, the weather was kind of like it is here today, where it's sunny and beautiful, and then a little bit of storminess will kind of threaten, and a little downpour for like 5 minutes, or not downpour, but just like spritz rain a little bit, and then
Mm-hmm.
beautiful again. And so it was perfect like weather for going to the ocean and hanging out for this time of year.
That's cool. You know, it made me think, and I don't mean to be a downer with saying this, but you know, since I've gone from a person that's always had mobility to someone who has limited mobility,
Yeah.
my two favorite things in the world used to be taking baths and going to the ocean. And those
Mm,
two things are different for me now because
yeah.
I can't go on the sand with that, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
can't get out of a bathtub now because of my knees. So it's kind of funny how you just have to make new favorite things to do.
Yeah.
You
That's a
know?
good point.
Because you were talking about I love, and I still love to go to the ocean, but now I usually spend my time at the casino or the ice cream
Right.
shop, or you know, finding alternate activities to do. But
Yeah. And there are some places like is it Long Beach where they have like the boardwalk where you're
mhm.
up
And
off.
like yeah, and Seaside, Oregon has that too.
Yeah. Um,
So
so there's
that you know, you can figure out ways. You just maybe can't get your feet in the water anymore, but
right.
we quit driving on the beach because we got stuck. I've been stuck so many times, it's like
Oh no.
forget it. But
Yeah.
that's always fun to just sit there and wait and see who's going to pull you out, you know? There's always somebody there who will do it.
Yeah, they're excited to. I feel like they just drive up and down the beach going, "Oh my
They
God,
do. Well, because
I
people
get to use
pay
my
them.
Jeep." Yeah.
People
Oh
pay
yeah.
them. That's a good way to make money out under the table. Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
Hmm.
I'm
But
not.
yeah. No, I've never been to Westport. Not
It's
silly.
cool. It's a cute little town. I never really walked around there because, like, when we went to the beach, we'd always go to Ocean Shores.
Hmm.
You know, I feel like there's just South Beach people and North Beach people, and um, that's just kind of the direction we went. But I liked it. I looked
Hmm.
back.
Cool. Well, that is a good place to go. I know my mom's selling her Ocean Shores house, so we won't be having our little place to go visit. I mean, we could still go
Yeah.
visit, but you know,
Right.
still just have alternate arrangements. I just want to talk about what we've been doing recently and what we have coming up. I don't have any topic. Do you have a topic today?
Um, I don't have a topic. I do. I'd love to chat with you and just reconnect and share this time together with you, Cheri, because I find that it is very special.
Mm-hmm. especially when we can do it without having to eat second dinner at a trashy Denny.
Right. Yeah. Let's talk about what we've had going on and what's coming up.
I wanted to talk about last Saturday I did a private show. Okay,
Yeah.
well, first of all, no, this is what I have a little beef with Gabriel Rutledge right now.
Oh.
He has started a new podcast called The Drive Home,
Okay.
where when he's driving home from gigs,
Yeah.
he just talks about it and stuff and records it.
How
And I'm like
cool.
so pissed that I didn't think of it first. That's really the problem, because it's like, that's such a good idea, you
That is a
know?
fair beef to have, you know?
Because when you're driving, like, I don't know about when I'm driving, I do like to reminisce about stuff. So, you know,
Uh-huh.
you might start off talking about how the actual show, but then that kind of meanders off into different topics. And it's really great. So yeah,
Like,
so that's been on my mind lately. I actually fell asleep listening to that. Not that it was boring, but I always
you
put
put me to
something.
sleep.
I always put something on before I go to sleep, and that's
Yeah,
you
I
know.
hear you.
So.
It's interesting because a lot like I just didn't. I had the 2 hour drive to the ocean a couple days ago and a 2 hour drive back today, and I kind of miss going on long drives. So when I was in sales, I was in the car all the time, and the wheels are always turning, and you're
It's
having
great for creativity for me
yeah,
anyway. Yeah.
and I a lot of times, those little like reflective posts I put on Facebook, like the sometimes you this, sometimes you that kind of thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Several of those have been thoughts that have come into my head while I'm driving down the road, and I've actually pulled over in the moment and written them down, or gotten to where I'm going, and then like, sorry, you're gonna have to wait 5 minutes. I got to write this out.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it's like in the moment, that's what pops in my head.
What I end up doing, like I'll make up jokes while I'm driving.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I need to write this out. Then I just call Dave and tell him to write it down.
Oh.
Like, call Dave Hardman, and then and then I tell him, hey, will you write something down for me?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another way to do it. But I think I have been able to get OK Google to open something for me, and I was able to say it in that. But
Yeah, I do
I
voice
said
memos
that, and
a
I
lot of
just
times.
activated it.
Oops.
Sorry.
I end up just opening up my like voice recorder and just saying the thought
Uh-huh.
or the joke. Um, and then later sometimes that's enough that I can remember it later, and then sometimes I'm like, wait, what was it? And I got to go back and listen to it. So
But I was thinking about that because the show that we did was up in Granite Falls.
oh, so that was a little drive. Yeah.
Yeah, so I drove up there, but I brought Andrew and Dave with me, and then Narin met us up there, and he did the show with me, and it was a fun show.
Yeah.
They had a food truck,
Nice.
like a barbecue food truck, but it had why can I never remember the name of it? It's so dumb.
Brisket.
Thank you.
Only because you mentioned it the other day.
And for some reason, there are some certain words that because I never said the word brisket until recently, because I never really, I knew that kind of what it was. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. Like, I've been thinking about it ever since then. So if anybody knows a local place for me to get some brisket sometime,
right,
put it in the chat or send me a message.
And barbecue,
it was really good.
Like the barbecues and smoke stuff, like that's a skill that takes a lot of like time and talent, and
it's not something I'm ever gonna do.
And there's like places that do it very well, and there's kind of like, oh, that's kind of dry. Okay,
yeah.
So yeah, it's always good to have recommendations for that kind of stuff.
But those people were so nice. I love going to play. They were just, everybody there was welcoming. It was it was someone's 50th birthday party, and they had stuff going on. They had a big tent at one of those outdoor venues, like where people get married or whatever. And they were having this birthday party there, and everybody was so nice. And they had beer and wine, and they had food, and they had there There was a guy there rolling cigars. After we were done with the comedy, they had music. Like, it was a big deal.
Yeah, they
But
went
it was
all
just
out.
so nice. And I want to say that they were lovely. They paid us well, tipped us well. And then right away the next day, rated me on Gig Salad.
Nice.
And since then, she's actually sent me a message with excerpt from an email that someone had sent her thanking her and telling her how great the comedians were. So
How very
that was
cool.
a nice touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it felt good to work for someone that like really actually appreciated us.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, I have a little beef about you. I told Steve I was going to be stewing about this for a bit because I'm going to let it go, but it's just annoying, a gig salad thing. But
Uh-huh.
so for those who don't know, that's a service you can like look for people for events, and you can say, hey, I want to get a comedian, a speaker, whatever. You can do DJs, all sorts of stuff. So someone requests a motivational speaker, but only for 15 minutes. And I thought, well, that's kind of pokey, you know, it's just a weird time.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know what they're looking for. So I don't judge it a lot. I'm just like, either they're trying to be really cheap, or maybe they don't have a lot in their budget, or they just don't know, or they're not really sure how their event's going to lay out or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, but I quoted it, and they had said what their budget was, and it was within a range, which was, you know, probably about 30% less than I would normally charge. But it was for an event, but it was also, if they're really not looking for that much, I thought, well, and it was also for a nonprofit thing. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and charge it less, because I will charge a little less a lot of times for
Was
nonprofit.
it local to you or was it?
It would have been, it was with, I think it was maybe an hour or two away. It would have been a little bit of a drive, but I would have been fine with it. So I quoted it at the top of what their budget range was. Well, then I got the notice today saying my quote was declined, not even a call, not even a question or anything. And I, you know, because I always say, hey, I'd love to chat because I want to learn more about your thing, and you know,
Mhm.
but it, you know, not even, I just looked at it and then declined the quote, and then the reason was it was out of their budget, so it was too high for their budget. I'm like, I quoted it exactly within what was in your budget. I'm just like, really?
Yeah, that
But
means they just went with the person who quoted less than that.
yeah, and also, but a good reminder is like, this isn't somebody I would want to work with anyway. Like, if they don't value what you have and they can't be clear on what they need, and then they're going to say that you didn't give what they need, even though you were exactly within what they said they needed.
Mhm.
It was like, you know, that's a good sign that it's not someone that's your type of customer. So anyway,
Right. Well,
just
yeah,
had to
and
go on
that's
that
true.
rant.
And really, and you know, the difference between working for someone that values you and someone that doesn't uh is really big, and it's really important. So
Yeah.
I just want to say that I really appreciated her. And you know, it was quite a drive up there. It was about an hour and a half up
Hmm.
there and
Yeah.
back, but it was totally worth it. And yeah, and they were just so nice. So
Yeah. That's really good. That's,
that
yeah.
was
And that's the thing
cool.
is, I would much rather work for someone who pays me, even if they did pay me less and were super appreciative, than someone who pays me more and, you know, treats you
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
they don't really care or whatever.
Right. Then Monday we did unmentionables.
Yes, and that was a
You were
big.
there for that, and that was a nice little show.
Mm-hmm.
We had fun. We had Tommy T and Sarah Champion, Reese Green, and Sharon Lacey.
Yeah, that was a good mix of comedians.
Hmm. And we had a pretty, you know, good crowd.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Odd Otter is that it's, you know, people kind of come and go because
Mm-hmm.
they're not all there for the comedy. Some are, and that's why we put them up front. And then there's another just group of people that kind of comes and goes and seems to really be having a good time while they're there, but maybe have dinner reservations somewhere
Yeah.
else or something like that. And then, you know, so there's an ebb and flow to it, but I don't ever feel like it's disruptive. You know, maybe sometimes you can kind of hear someone talking, but I think we do a good job of keeping it um,
Yeah. Trying to keep it kind of quiet
keep
enough.
it real for a comedy show, and the people are respectful and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the one thing I love about the Unmentionable show is that if so, like Sarah hadn't done comedy in a while. And
Yeah.
so even for someone who's feeling a little bit rusty, it's a really easy way to kind of ease yourself into comedy. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
you're up there for a short amount of time. And if you're embarrassed or something, that's okay. That works for this show.
Yeah, it makes it your reaction, and sometimes your timidness or you're like, oh gosh, it actually makes it more entertaining for the audience because of the props and the things that are involved. And so
and so then that makes it funny. But then you also have someone who's totally comfortable with something like that, like Reese Green turned out to be, which I wasn't expecting because I've only seen him maybe once or twice at an open mic.
Yeah, I think I saw him once, and he just jumped right into it and was like, when can I spin again? Tell me the word.
Yeah, he really like did a great job. Not that everybody else didn't, but I mean, he really stood out that you could tell he was having fun, and that is so contagious.
Yeah, and it is. It's interesting because there were, all of the comedians there that night. I hadn't seen Tommy or Sarah do stand up for a while. I mean, I know Tommy's been out more lately, and I haven't been at the right things that he has, and I hadn't seen Sharon Lacey before, or in Reese, like, very little. So it's just kind of neat to see a group of people.
Right, it wasn't the same people that you see over and over again, and that's really kind of what I try to do, especially with the shows at Odd Otter, is not book those same 10 people that everybody else is booking over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Or actually those same 4 guys that everybody else is booking over and over again. No, but
well, and the only thing I knew all the jokes that the host did. So that was
God, that dumb bitch needs to write some new material.
She even called me out for fake laughing. I was like, I was trying. Apparently I was too fake.
It's funny because I just said that because it's like, I know he doesn't really think this is funny anymore.
They are funny jokes. I do think they're funny, but yeah.
Well, it's funny there because I don't even know what I'm going to say till I get up there. I had one plan and I totally bailed and did something completely different. So
yeah,
who knows? But no, it's a fun room. I think everybody should go. And the other thing that I really want to say about that show, and when we do that show, the tips are always a lot better when we do Unmentionables than when we do a regular showcase.
Interesting.
I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's true. But the thing that I wanted to say is the reason that I booked Reese, even though not knowing him very well, is because the video that he sent me was actually funny. Like asking for work. And I was really surprised when I, asked for who wanted to be on the show. And I got a lot of videotapes that weren't very funny. So people might want to video their videos.
Yeah, because I've had some. This is something you have to be aware of, because even if you have a joke that is funny and that you did very well, whatever night, it doesn't always come through on the video. Like, I've had some sets where I felt like, oh, this was a really good set, and then I go watch it and I'm like, I don't feel it in the video enough, and it could be the angle of the camera or just you're not picking up enough from the room, where I just said I don't feel the pop enough to where I feel like it might not be the best one to send out.
Right. If you send someone a tape, and I got some of these, where the first 2 minutes there's no punchlines, don't send that.
Yeah.
It's better to not send one and just cross your fingers.
Right.
Yeah, because if I'm 2 minutes in and I haven't heard a joke, I haven't heard a laugh, I'm not watching beyond that.
Well, and that's what people need to remember is, if you don't capture somebody quickly, this person has a stack of things to go through, and they're not going to go through to get to the last joke that may have killed. Like, that's not their job. Their job is not to give you a chance, like out of charity. You have to catch their attention right away.
Right.
And so,
and my list of people that I want to book was this long, but I've gone through most of it now. So pretty much have left, I don't want to say that I'm at the bottom of the list, but I'm just saying that now would be a good time to send me a really good video because I have some openings that not till July.
Right.
Like I've already booked up till then. But anyway, I'm going to Vegas next week. Hello.
Yeah, and that's going to be exciting. And when you get back, we're going to sit down and do another planning and goal setting session.
Okay, that sounds great. Monday, I'm going to get my bangs trimmed. I just want to announce to everyone who's looking at my hair. But yeah, next Thursday, we won't be able to do scrutiny because Carol and I will be at Selfie World at that time.
Aww.
We made all of our appointments. I know. And I told her we're probably she's going to be working double duty. So we kind of like made our reservations or whatever we wanted to do. She's got some days where she'll be working. And so I made my massage appointment and we made our Selfie World appointment. And we're also doing some Zoom thing, just watching a Zoom show in the afternoon one day before we go out. But it'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Funny. I was looking at my calendar and I always go in my book and I write out like what I have to do, and I've got like my my little things for the week.
Right.
So every half page is a day. And I was looking ahead into next week and all of a sudden it says flight to Vegas. And I'm like, am I going to Vegas? But I forgot you had sent me a long time ago your itinerary. And apparently from the email, it just automatically added it because it'll do that on Gmail. It just automatically added it to my calendar. And I was like, aw. I mean, I just had fun without you and you're going to have fun without me. We'll have fun together again. But it was like, oh, dang. But
it's going to be like 90 degrees, which is perfect.
But I'm just, and I'm excited because I did just give myself a little raise. And so the next couple months, I'm going to have a little more to spend
cool.
And save. But maybe a future trip will be in order.
Yeah, anytime, anytime.
I'd be like, oh, Cheri, what are you doing tomorrow? I found out I'm going to Vegas. I can make that happen.
That would be so cool. I really, I don't know. I'm so looking forward to it. Work's been, my job is really so easy. But it's no secret that I've really lost my joy. I don't have the joy. And I know I put this on my Facebook page, but let's talk about this a little bit. The Chris Rock, Will Smith thing. We were in class the other day and there's this couple that's always slapping each other.
Yes, I saw
like second graders, just like slapping. It just drives me nuts. And I said something like, would you guys quit hitting each other? Like, knock it off. I go, this isn't the Academy Awards. And
which is hilarious.
Kids in the room just busted out laughing. But yeah, he didn't like it. He said that was racist. That was racist. I'm thinking, no, that had nothing to do with race. That just had to do with an event where we just saw someone slap someone.
Right, so, exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to like belabor that whole point again because I think everybody's tired of arguing about it,
Yeah, I think so. You hate to even give it that much attention. It's like I thought about writing about it when it happened. And then I'm really hesitate to write about things that are going on because I don't want to, to me, it feels very transparent that like, oh, well, if I write about this, that'll be a buzz thing. And maybe I'll get attention. Maybe that will be the thing that gets attention.
Yeah.
And that's not, if that's the reason I'm writing, then I'm not going to write about it.
Right.
If I were to write about it, it would have been I would have written about the role of a comedian or I would have written about the dynamics of a relationship. But I'm less inclined to write about that because I have to pick and choose what I share or what I get into where I don't want to feel like I'm dragging up stuff that talks about stuff that could be close to people that could affect kids and stuff. So
Yeah, but one thing I do want to say is that I heard, see, this is the first year I've not watched the Academy Awards, so I was kind of
Of
pissed.
course, and look what
But
happened.
somebody else had to tell me about the Academy Awards.
See, and I never watched them at all.
Well, I like the red carpet, but I am realizing, this is why I didn't watch it. I am realizing in my old age that people talk about actresses and actors, and I'm like, who? Like, I've never heard of this
Bob
or
Hope
that. And
yeah.
I didn't, no, yeah. But I haven't watched any of the movies. I just have not watched any movies.
Well, and I have a sister that makes a point to, or tries to, I think that she gets pretty close, if not always, to see every movie that's nominated for best film. And a couple of my siblings are very into that kind of stuff and keep up on, who's in the film.
Right.
And I just don't really care. And in fact, this came up with when I was with Steve. It was like I was adding. He's like, "How have you not seen this movie? How have you not seen that movie?" And he referencing.
He flip your shit like I flip your shit all the time.
Yeah. Oh my God. He was beside it. He's like, and Steve is Mr. Cultural References, like especially
especially from the 80s, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so he said there's just a couple of different things. So there were like 10 movies I had to add to my list, and I'm sure that if we would have kept talking about it, there'd be even more. But so I thought next week what we could play is I'm going to list some movies, and you have to pick which ones I may have seen or may have not seen from the list. Has Andy watched this movie? And I'll put like 2 on, and you have to pick which one I watched, and then I'll do maybe a different 2, something like that.
Okay.
So
all right, so 2 weeks from tonight.
Yes. Yeah.
2 weeks from today, so that's on the 14th.
So
all right, well, we'll get that going, and it'll be fun.
A game segment again.
It'll just all be, did Andy see this? No.
The appropriate answer is always no. But I thought it could be fun if I put like because at first I thought, well, what if I just put a list up and you have to guess which ones? And I thought, well, no, maybe I'll just do like 2 side by side, and then each, so there's always one I've seen and one I haven't seen, and you have to guess.
That would be fun. We could also do, like, I could do synopsis of a movie without saying what the movie is, and just see if you've heard over the years and could figure out what movie that is. You know,
because there are a lot of
girl possessed by a demon. It would be Andy.
Alien.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, see, there you go.
Are you serious?
Isn't that the one where the alien like comes out of her body?
No, she's possessed by the devil.
Oh. I don't know.
The Exorcist? Heard of a little film called The Exorcist?
I have not seen it.
I know you haven't seen it, but I thought you might have heard about it or something. That
sounds familiar. So
not only did Andy not go to movies, but he didn't have any friends either to talk about the movies that they saw. Got it. I am addicted to something, and I wanted to make a confession.
Oh, please do. Please do. Please do.
For some reason, I'm addicted to the chicken quesadillas at Applebee's.
Really?
Oh my God, they're so good. It's not like they're so good. Okay, it's not like they're gourmet quesadillas, and I'm sure every Mexican restaurant in town probably makes a better one, but there's just something about them that my mouth really likes, and it's really hard for me to not, because I've been on like I'm not ordering Uber Eats thing.
It just reminds me of this TikTok. So I'm addicted to this, not in a medical sort of way, but have you seen that?
No.
Oh. How TikTok, you just see completely different stuff, but
that's funny because someone will go, oh, on TikTok it's got all this and this and this, and I'm like, I never see that on my feed. So that is really interesting about it, though.
Yeah. So I did send you the that video I sent you from while I was driving. I made that into a TikTok.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Hey, why not? Just throw everything at the wall until something sticks.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What I say. That's what I say. Dave and I have been rewatching We watched Joe and Carol. I think that's what it's called on Hulu, which is like
Oh, I saw an advertisement for that. It's like a
for
movie.
Tiger King. Yeah, with oh God, what's her name?
Carol Baskins.
The actress that was playing her. Oh my God, she's from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, Tina Fey.
No,
Gloria Gaynor.
blonde.
Oh, Marilyn Monroe.
I gotta Google it because I just have to say her name because
Oh,
this
Amy
woman is
Poehler? Amy
shoot.
Poehler.
No, this is like latter day nowadays. Let me find out. Here are some results. Was that you or me?
That was you.
A blonde on Saturday Night Live.
Dana Carvey.
Who played Carol Baskin? Kate McKinnon. Oh my God.
Okay.
By Kate McKinnon. She is a delight. She's a damn delight. She made Carol Baskin likable. Of course, they wrote it kind of a little more that way, but there's just something engaging about her.
Now,
Hang on, when she's on the screen. Now,
Yeah.
she was, did you watch Comedians in Cars
no.
doing coffee with Jerry?
I've seen like one episode. I have it in my list on Netflix. I just never have.
You should watch them. Just like, you know, they're like 15 minutes. So
yeah, I need to.
you
I
can watch
started
here and there, but oh my God, she's on that, and that's kind of really where I really like. I remembered her a lot from that, but like she's a genius. She's really good. She's just talented and so charismatic and likable. Like you could not like her. So
I need to message Cheri because he hasn't picked me up to get coffee yet in a fancy.
I know what's up with that.
So we're gonna have to have a little chitty chat about that.
Well, he probably knows that I don't like coffee, so that's why he hasn't picked me up.
You a tea or something, or
all right.
I think
chocolate.
You could suffer through a coffee for the chance to hang out and be on a Netflix special.
I saw my friend Debbie's watching, so I just want to say, hey Debbie, love you.
Hey Debbie, what's up? I have to say I didn't watch any of the Tiger Kings until maybe like two or 3 months ago. It was like around maybe the end of the year last year, and because you know me, it's like whatever, I'm not watching that. It's too popular. I'm not going to do it. And I don't watch much of the reality stuff, but I did watch it. I had watched. My son was like, "No, you need to watch this thing," and he's like, "This is crazy." So I'd watched one when I was over there for dinner one night, and then I came home and watched like the rest of it in like 3 days. And those kind of things, that whole situation, you can see like from both sides where they're both so messed up that it's so hard to tell who's the aggressor and who's not, and are they both bad, just in different ways, you know?
Well, it was interesting because Dave hadn't watched it with me when I originally watched it, but then we watched the acting version of it.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, we should go back and watch that. And I was like, oh, I like to watch stuff kind of through someone else's eyes, you know. And it was really interesting to watch it a second time. And to see, first of all, on that Hulu one where they had actors, they really nailed some of the actors to just look exactly like, and you think I remember the first time watching it, it's like, holy shit, where did they get these people? Are they for real? You know, can there really be that many? But you know, Joe Exotic, he did have a certain amount of charisma. He really did. He was messed up. He had his problems, but there was something about him, and he built kind of a family of misfits.
Yeah, I think that he reminds me of some of those people that you meet, especially through comedy. I think we run into a lot of people like this, and I meet them just out because I'm out in the public a lot, where you meet these people where you're like, you know, that's an interesting character, and they're entertaining and crazy as hell, and not somebody that I would personally get that close to, but I can see where they're not like awful to be around. They're like, oh, this is kind of funny to have a drink with them, or whatever.
Right. But then you'll run that risk of them weaseling there. That's my problem, is that I let somebody in that, we're not supposed to use the word crazy anymore. So I don't know. Wacky people, let's just say wacky people are always attracted to me. Like if somebody comes up to me and we instantly hit it off, I look at my husband and I go, that one's going to be a hot mess if I got to know them any better. And he's like, oh, I can smell it a mile away. You're right,
And I have a theory. I think it's true that hot mess is contagious. So you just got to be careful.
Yeah. It's true, and I think it's, they used to say in Codependence Anonymous that if you're really attracted to somebody, it's the sick part of you attracted to the sick part of them.
Mm.
Deep down, like you don't know it right away, but it's just that your sicknesses are compatible. So they can still spot mine, I guess. I've done a lot of years of work on mine, but apparently they're still in there. And boy, it's like a radar, And I do find, the older I get, the less. Yeah. So, but yeah, like any of those Joe Exotic people would probably have loved me. And I would have been like, what have I gotten myself into? Because wow.
One thing I've learned to be very guarded. Like one of the things I tell myself is be less inviting, because I'm told a lot, and I know this about myself, that I have a very welcoming personality.
Right. And then everybody thinks you're their friend.
And so just to protect myself, I have to kind of put up a little bit of a wall to where I'm like, I care about people and I do want to let people share their story and I want to learn about people. But then I have to make sure that it's like, but we're only going this far. Like I'm walking.
Yeah, you got to have boundaries.
Yeah. Like I'm walking you to the edge of the park, but I'm not going into the park with you, or whatever. Or this was a great conversation today. Let's chat again in a few months. Not, hey, let's talk all day long every day because I'm your new bestie. And I feel bad because there are people who need that, and I just can't be that for everybody.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, and when you have friends, hang out with people that don't have their lives together and they haven't done the work that you've done on yourself, it's not fair to let them bring you down.
Yeah, and that is one thing especially when I look at relationship stuff, it's like I have spent a lot of time, a lot of emotional and intellectual investment and money too on getting myself healthy and being in a good place. And so
some people are unsafe.
Yeah, and I
can't, your well-being. Yeah.
If someone hasn't done that same amount of work or isn't on the journey doing that same work or trying to do it, like, I get we're all in different places, and I'm not saying, oh, you've got to be, we all have different things. It's not like, oh, you got to be perfect or you can't have
right.
But you got to be aware of them and you got to be trying to do better for yourself. That's my thing.
I agree.
So that's where I'm at in life. But
let's see. Anything else?
I'm so excited for your trip next week, and I cannot wait to hear all about it the following week.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I want to do a open mic. Well, hopefully, I'm going to do an open mic at one of the casinos on Wednesday night. So I'm leaving. I'm leaving Wednesday morning, but like I've got to be at the airport at like 3 a.m. or something. So it's going to pretty much be let's check in and then take a nap. So we're staying at Caesar's Palace. Our room looks like it's going to be really pretty.
I saw you had posted a couple pictures of what the room looked like, which looks gorgeous. Have you stayed at Caesar's Palace before?
I have. I stayed there last year one time. One of the times I went by myself.
Okay.
They had the best deal. Well, actually, when I'm booking rooms, It depends on who's got handicap rooms available
Right. Yeah.
at certain times, and then I gauge off that, But so they were the best deal with the best handicap room that I could get for this time. Because Caesars, I like their rooms; they're nice. They have some food up. I don't really like their casino as far as game playing. There's one whole area that's just concentrated and smoky, and I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not a huge fan of Caesars.
Okay.
A lot of it too is because I went by myself last time, and it's a big party place. So if you're young and you are doing a bachelor party or a bachelorette party, that is definitely the place to go.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if you're an old woman and you're just there for some peace and quiet, maybe not. But it has a great location in the middle of the strip.
Do people go to Vegas for peace and quiet? I'm a little confused by that.
Oh yeah, I do. Well, I like to go party, but gambling. There are a lot of older people that are just there to gamble. So yes.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's not. It's just too smoky. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Okay.
There's another area where it's more open and it's not so bad. And it seems that, I don't know, there wasn't a ton of food options, but no, it'll be good. But it's right center strip. So remember when we were at Mandalay Bay, we were down at the end. So if we wanted to go somewhere, we had to go through 3 casinos to go out.
Yeah. So that could be kind of nice to you could go either direction from where you're at.
And you're just right in the middle of where everything is. So it'll be fun. But yeah, the rooms are nice, and they were real nice to me. I'm not really I don't have beef with Caesars, otherwise I wouldn't be staying there. But it's not really my first choice. So
that's fair.
There we go.
Excellent. Well, I am gonna miss you. I know we'll talk before then and while you're on your trip and all those good things, but it'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, it sounds like we're done. So
I think so. I'm done here, Cheri.
All right. Well, you go enjoy your evening. I'm gonna go eat my.
Are you getting another chicken quesadilla?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dave went to get something else for him and Andrew, and I said, "Oh, good. Then I'll just order a quesadilla."
Nice.
They like to do Burger King sometimes, and
quesadillas are honestly, they're brilliant. They're just quick, easy. They're easy to eat. I run across the street sometimes Parkway and get a quesadilla when I just am I don't need a big full meal. I just want something,
Yeah. Can't wait. All right. Well, happy quesadilla.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wait. When we're done here, let's record our thing. If you have a minute. Okay. Sure. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Toodles.